is going on, guys? Welcome back to Geek Muscle. So it's the end of summer and I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are going back to school this week, which means you're going through anxiety about what to expect with their new classes, financial expenses, and worst of all, the icebreakers. Luckily for me, I can't relate because I already graduated back in December, so sucks to be you nerds. No, but today I wanted to talk to you specifically incoming freshmen that are fresh new to college. Get it? Fresh new freshmen? I don't know. But nonetheless, I want to target you for this video and give you the do's and the don'ts and what to expect for college. Because I'm pretty sure that a lot of you are still in high school mode mentally. And if you're anything like me, that I was a lost puppy dog for the first few weeks of college, you're gonna come to realize the hard way that college and high school are not the same. So I figured, why not just make this into a video and give you incoming freshmen the do's and the don'ts that I personally learned throughout college, especially my first year. That way you can transition your mentality from high school mode to college mode pretty smooth. So let's get started. So one of the very first things that you have to do them right before you even start college, and that is checking your school email days prior to the first day of school. Don't wait on the day up. This is one mistake that I would do repeatedly because either I was too lazy or I had my mindset on other things or yada yada yada. And because I didn't check it, I would miss out on instructions or on homeworks being given. Because one thing you gotta realize with college is that, professors will send you emails even before the semester starts because they're going to give you instructions on specific readings or to do a simple homework assignment or to pick up some books. Some professors will do that because on the first day of school, something you got to realize is that you're not just going to do the icebreaker and the introduction and read the syllabus. A lot of professors, they will start, covering the first chapter that same day. So you got to go prepared. So yeah, it's very important for you to check your email, minimum a week or two before the first day of school, because you really never know. Some professors won't, some actually do start the day of and they give you all the information that same day. But there are a lot of professors, and I'm telling you from experience, that they give instructions even before the semester starts. And if you miss out on anything, you're gonna be completely lost on the first day of school. So just 1 or 2 weeks before, just to play it safe. All right, next, number 2 is go incredibly early on the first day of class. So remember, just keep this in mind. The very first day of class, especially in the fall semester, everybody is feeling it the exact same way as you are, with nervousness, anxiety, and a lot of people head out basically around the same time. Not to mention the fact that it's also the rush hour in the morning. Everybody's heading off to work too. So on the very first day, you will expect, a lot of traffic, more than the normal day. And let's say, for example, you have a class at, let's say, 8 a.m. That specific day, try going at 6. That way you for sure you can make it, at least a few minutes early. Because you really never know if there's going to be delays or if there's an accident, because people, they drive pretty crazy, especially if, they're in a rush or they're nervous. So try going more, exceptionally early on the first few days of school, because you don't want to do the mistake that I did, that I had class at 8:45 and I headed out at 8 and I did not think about the delays or the traffic. So let's just say that I made it to my class, my very first college class, that is, I made it at 9:15. The class ended at 9:30. So yeah, not the best first impressions to, let alone your first course or your first class in college ever. That is not the best way to start. So don't do what I did. So yeah, for the first couple of days, try going, 2 to 3 hours before your class starts. And then eventually, once you get the hang of your schedule and more or less how the traffic is or how, depending on the class, the professor, if they're nice or not, that's when you can figure out, okay, maybe I could go a little bit more later, or maybe I do have to go even earlier at that. So just give it a few days and you'll get used to it. All right, I had to fix the lighting because the sun's going down and it's getting dark. All right, next, do not, for the love of God, spend your money on pointless shit. Now, I will admit to you that for the first few semesters, I did have grant money, in which, obviously I did use it for the tuition, for gas money, for food, for what's important, the books. But I got comfortable because it was a good amount of money. I'm not trying to brag, but it was a good amount of money for college. I got comfortable, I didn't have a job, and I pretty much just started spending it on things I didn't need. I would go out to eat literally every single day, which led to me gaining weight for a while. But the thing is that while I didn't think it through at that time, it didn't bite me in the ass until the latter half of my college career. Because at one point I had to withdraw from a couple of courses that I couldn't finish. And I even failed one class at one time. And ultimately I had to pay up. I did not have my grant anymore, it got taken away. And because I didn't have a job, I did not have the money, I spent it on pointless things. I had to get loans. So you can see the domino effect playing here, because I took this money for granted and ultimately I had to get loans to actually pay for my school and for the books and for everything that I needed. And now that I'm done, I have to pay it back, which I'm in the process of. So that's what I'm saying, that do not, if you get a scholarship or you have grants or even loans, don't spend it on things that you don't need. Just use that for specifically the books, for tuition, for gas money, for lunch. Use it for what you really do need. But don't think of it as money so you can spend it like on Saturday nights buying booze or pointless things like that, because you really never know when you're gonna need it, in possible semesters. So whatever money that's left over, put it in a savings account. Just use your money for school. Don't spend it on, just because you see that big check and you get tempted. I know it could be tempting to see like, oh, I can buy whatever, but just use it for school purposes and for emergencies as well. But don't see it as free money, because it's not. It's only for school and for the necessities, specifically for college. Next thing on the list, don't switch your majors repeatedly. Now, I understand coming into college and not knowing exactly what you want to do. Believe me, I was the same way. It's completely normal to start college and to not really know, which route you're going to take career-wise. It's perfectly fine. But what I mean is, choosing a specific degree plan, and then later on, probably like at the end of your sophomore year or junior year, you decide to change it again. That's the one thing where you have to be careful of. Because once you change your major, you change it more than once, and you're already a late sophomore or a junior. And if you think about it, a lot of the classes that you probably already taken, you probably took them, for nothing. You wasted your time and you wasted your money, because now your degree plan changes dramatically and you have to take a new set of courses. Some of the classes you've taken, they could be valid, but it depends on what you change your major to that completely changes the degree plan to a full 360, and you feel like you wasted your time taking other classes, for nothing. Just keep that in mind. Once right now you're a freshman, you're starting with your basics, but this is the time where you really have to decide what you want to do. Talk to your advisors and give them an idea what you want to do, and they're going to help you out. They'll guide you through what degree plan tailors to your interests. So there you go. Next, read the syllabus. It's literally your best friend. I cannot tell you how many times people would ask me about specific chapters, or if we were supposed to do this or that, or contact information from the professor, when clearly it's on the syllabus, the one guide that they give you right in the beginning of the semester. Don't lose it. Don't throw it away. Don't discard it or anything. Keep it with you. That's the one thing that I never really messed up on, was keeping track of my syllabus, unless of course the email did, and that way I was. But read it, don't lose it. It's literally your Bible to get you through a specific class, especially in the beginning, to give you an idea of how it's gonna work, So please read the syllabus. A lot of us get really annoyed when you ask us, really simple questions when clearly the syllabus can answer it for you. So just read the damn thing. Next thing on the list is be ready for the icebreakers. Now, this is something that you will not be able to avoid. There is no escape. It's inevitable. 90% of your classes are gonna have icebreakers, whether it means just standing for 10 seconds and introducing yourself to the class, or the professor pairing you in groups with a bunch of strangers that you have no idea who they are. I can guarantee you that at least 90% of your classes are gonna have some sort of icebreaker. So just be ready for it, come prepared, and just have your mindset that you're gonna be talking to people, and you might actually get up and stand up and talk to the whole class. For me, who was an introvert, antisocial, awkward little kid, I was terrified. Was it awkward? Yes. Did my voice shake in front of everybody? Definitely. Did I get over it? Eventually. towards the latter half of my college career. Next, don't sit in the back of auditoriums. So a lot of your classes will be in big auditorium classes where it's almost, more than 100 students, and it's very tempting to want to sit in the back because really it's hard for the professor to spot you. And I know it can be very easy and tempting, especially if the class is boring, but it's not worth you failing the class and not paying attention. So just either sit in the front or sit in the middle, because I would fall asleep so many times in auditorium classes, which led to this. And it just leads to people around you just staring at you like, fuck this guy. Next, expect a lot of group work, and also expect that a lot of these groups you're gonna find that one person that will just not do anything. It's not gonna happen all the time, but you will bump into that one person that is just going to sit back, relax, and just watch you guys do the whole thing, and just chilling and basically just watching you guys do the whole work and taking all the credit, which is not fair by any means. And if you see that, report it to your teacher. Just have him present, because honestly, they're gonna see all the hard work you guys did, but if he's presenting, he has no idea what it is. The professor's gonna see, pretty much who did the work and who didn't. Next, network with other people in your career path. This is something that I very much regret that I did not do. It's really, really important to, get to know a lot of people in your degree area, people that you share similar interests and passions, because you really never know when that's gonna come in handy, you never know if you get connections to, job opportunities from people they know, or if, you guys share similar interests and you can start a business together. You really don't know, so that's why it's really important to network and get to know a lot of people that share similar interests and have that same passion for what you want to do. And you're essentially putting yourself out there, so just make sure to network with a lot of people. All right, next thing on the list, and this one is a little bit, kind of depressing, but it's realistic, and that is be prepared to lose a few friends. So this doesn't necessarily mean that, there's gonna be conflicts or there's gonna be dramas by any means. That is not the case, but more or less it's because the deeper you go into your college career, the busier it gets for everybody. So at first you're gonna notice that you could still hang out with your friends at lunch and, whatever. But you're gonna notice that every semester, the busier it gets, you're gonna see them a little bit less, and you slightly drift apart, depending how close you are, but ultimately a lot of people, you will drift apart entirely. You can still see them during the breaks, during spring break or the winter break, but don't expect to see them literally every single day like you did before in high school, because now, you're still in school, but now everybody's taking their own route. It's not just one road with everybody like how it is in high school. Now everybody's scattering through different lanes that's going to take them to different directions. So just, be prepared to know that, as deeper you go into college, some friends, you're going to see them less, and some you're going to drift apart almost entirely. Because plus, other than that, you're also going to meet new friends, whatever major you're in, you're going to meet people that you share interests with, which goes back to the networking. So that's another thing too, is that also while you may lose a few old friends, you're also going to meet new friends as well. Just be ready that it might happen, because again, it's not because of hate, it's not because there's dramas, it's because you're growing up and you're discovering who you are and what you want to do with your life, and who you feel or who is more compatible, who you're more compatible with and talking to and hanging out with. So just keep that in mind. Just once you start, you still have your friends, but remember that things will get busy, and it's inevitable. I'm not saying you're gonna lose all of your friends completely. You're gonna lose your best friend. No, that's not the case at all. I still have mine, but there's gonna be a few friends that that you're not gonna see as much, or hell, you're not even gonna see them again. So there you go. Next thing is don't become antisocial either. So for a while, at least during my first few semesters, I became completely secluded. I had this mentality that I had to focus just primarily on just classes, and I could not go out. I could not go out and have fun with friends or by any means. And I closed my doors on my friends for a while, unfortunately, and I really do regret that. Now, I'm not saying that turn into this Yeti that just keg stands every single weekend, but you do need to go out. There has to be a balance with school, with your studies, and with, taking the loads off with your friends, relaxing a little bit, because if you just focus entirely on school and you don't hang out with everybody, it's gonna affect your social skills and you're just gonna burn out basically, and you're just gonna drive yourself crazy. I mean, I'm telling you, I was like that for a while, and I started to get really depressed, just sitting in my desk, studying, not going out. But eventually I just snapped out of it, and I went back to trying to keeping it as balanced as possible. That's the only thing that it requires is balance, like a lot of things. Something that the Jedis don't know nothing about. I made a video a while back about being antisocial and how that takes a toll on your social skills. I'll link that in the description below so you can check it out, because I'm not really gonna go much into detail in this video. So on to the next. Last but not least, don't rely on Chegg. Now, it could be very, very easy and very tempting to just check a lot of your answers and find them on Chegg, and surprisingly you're gonna find them. You're gonna find a lot of your assignments there, but it's not worth the risk, because sometimes the people that answer those questions on Chegg are wrong. Sometimes a lot of people do not check the comments and it says, actually, no, this answer is wrong, and then they actually correct it. Sometimes they don't correct it at all and it stays wrong. So don't rely on it entirely enough to copy, word from word and the answer, because in addition to that, professors aren't stupid, okay? They know when you're copying and they know what Chegg is. So don't even risk it. If anything, just use that as a reference. If you have a question and if you don't get something, look it up, and if you find it, okay, but keep it as a reference, but to figure it out yourself. Don't copy word from word, because otherwise you're just gonna risk getting it wrong, and they know exactly how Chegg works, so don't risk it. You can get in trouble too. I had a class about 2 years ago, and a lot of them, they decided it was a group project basically, and a lot of them they found the answers on Chegg. But the geniuses did not think it through, and one person copied off of Chegg and everybody else just copied off of that person. So ergo, the professor found out and he gave them all zeros, and they were at risk of getting expelled. Like he reported to the dean. I don't know what happened after that, but I remember that one time he was really, really upset, and with good reason. All right, guys, I think I'm just gonna stop right here. So these are just a couple of the big things that I would advise any incoming freshman to keep in mind. I'm sure there's a lot more, but these are the ones that just, pop into my head, and they're like really important ones. And I'm pretty sure that if you take these into account, it'll make your college experience much, much easier. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. If you enjoyed this video or find it helpful, make sure to give it a like, give it a subscribe, click on the notification bell so you know whenever I upload. By the way, guys, me and a couple of friends have started a podcast called the Gua Squad Podcast, where we talk about geek culture, video games, anime, you name it, but we also talk a little bit of fitness. So make sure to check that out, guys. We're creating a separate channel for that. The first episode should be up by this week, so make sure to check it out. I'll link it in the description below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.